Hey, welcome guys. It's Robin here. Thanks for joining me today on Oracle Rising. Just want to remind you guys to subscribe and leave me a comment, so I can get real traction in pulling together our divinity team of Lightworkers and empaths and starseeds and light warriors and indigos and everybody who is meant to help raise the energy of the planet. Okay, so I definitely wanted to talk about something that I'm seeing a lot of lately. I'm pretty active on social media. I have a pretty big friend group, so getting a lot of emails and messages and posts about people just being kind of at the end of their rope, just really feeling drained. So I wanted to talk about emotional exhaustion today, and I think that so many people are so close to the brink of this and not even really being aware of it. So you can kind of like self-diagnose by behavior traits. I always recommend not to watch the news, and that's for a reason. Okay, so there's a lot of stuff being brought to our attention directly, whether you're online or you're watching cable TV or even in your feed, if you're on Twitter and any other like social media platforms, all the current events around the world, and they're not very pleasant right now. They're being brought directly to our attention, whether you want to see them or not. Like, you can basically not avoid seeing like all this tragedy and all this horror going on around the world. Okay, so there's a difference between like being like ignorant about what's happening, like totally like clueless, and not wanting to participate in the energy. Okay, so emotional exhaustion. There's a lot going on. There's a lot of energy going on. It's like the keepers of the matrix are really amping up things to hold people's energy down. And this is something that I was referring to, where the news and events are being brought to us. Like, it used to be people that were like on the front lines and first responders. They were the only people that were having access to what is really like super damaging to people. And that people that come back from war and that are firefighters and ambulance drivers and like doctors and stuff like that, they suffer from a lot of PTSD. So I think for us sort of like normal people just kind of going about our lives, and we're not actively choosing to participate in careers like that, now it's all being kind of like, it's so easy to access, and then you have people arguing about it. So there's this whole vortex of just like sucking people down. So it's going to affect you whether you think it is or not. And then there's just the busyness of life, like trying to make ends meet. For some people, I've seen like endless winter, and believe me, what is it? What's the date today? I don't even know. It's like mid-April while I'm recording this for you guys. We still have snow where I live, and there's snow predicted over the weekend. It's almost at the end of April, and honestly, I just broke down crying the last time it snowed. I sat in my car and sobbed, and then I came in the house and I had a huge fit about how I hate this effing place, and like my dog was looking at me like I was just some sort of lunatic, and that's exactly how I felt. And then I noticed like so many people are feeling that as well. So this is something we can kind of bond over, this type of trauma, and learn to recognize these symptoms in ourselves where we're just emotionally exhausted, and you really need to carve out some time for you. So I'm really recommending, like, if you can take a long weekend or take 3 days. I know not everybody works on Monday to Friday. If you can sort of dial back down on your responsibilities, ask people for help. Don't be shy to ask for help, you guys. If you don't have anybody to help you, I really feel for you, but maybe you could get like groceries delivered or, something. Just do something to take that load off you so you can start to feel a little bit more whole when it comes to your emotional health. And this is something that we have to really protect as well, because emotional health really translates to your physical health and the health of your relationships, and it's so important. So I'm going to give you some signs that you could be experiencing emotional exhaustion. And let me know if any of these resonate with you. I'm going to tell you exactly which ones I've been kind of I want to say suffering with, because it's been really rough for me lately. And there's something else that's been going on. Like, I've just been so drained that I haven't been doing my tarot card readings as much on my other channel, Aries Fire Tarot. I'm just like, I can't, so I had to stop. So anyway, I'm hoping to resume that back up in May, you guys. And thanks for everybody that checked on me, that noticed that it was like, I didn't even care, and like for me, that's my passion. So there was something really wrong. So I had to stop doing so much. So anyway, the first thing you might notice is like not being able to sleep, like you're just tossing and turning, like sleepless nights, like worrying about the state of affairs of the world, and probably stuff that you can't even do anything about anyway, because there's things going on without your permission. And the other one is sleeping too much, okay? Just like, I can't handle this, I'm just going to go to sleep, maybe having trouble waking up in the morning because all you want to do is sleep. That's a defense mechanism, like falling asleep on the couch, watching TV or reading a book or whatever, and just thinking, who cares, So that's a really big sign of emotional exhaustion and something that needs to be paid attention to, okay? Lack of motivation, that's what I was talking about with my tarot card readings. Like, I was like, I don't care right now. And like, I just had to honor the fact that I didn't have the energy for it, and just stop doing things. But it can be a little bit treacherous for your life, because still things need to get done, right? Obviously, you've got to clean up a little bit. You got to take care of the kids, the pets, whoever else you're responsible for. So it can be really damaging, okay? So lack of motivation is a really big one. That you could maybe, like, you just skip your workouts. Maybe some people stop feeding themselves, they're just not motivated to do anything. Zero patience. That's that, what I was talking about, where I just flipped out. It was really embarrassing, I was outside shoveling and like sobbing. Okay, it's happened a couple times, more than just once, where I just freaked out over the weather, because enough already, and it's just been so cold, and the snow, and dark and gross and disgusting. So I just lost patience, and like, I'm an Aries, so it was quite a scene. I don't even care if my neighbors saw me while I was outside crying and shoveling, or sitting in my car feeling sorry for myself. I don't care. Stop watching me, right? So zero patience. You could be like really abnormally short-tempered, maybe in traffic. You're like, why is this light taking so long? Or just have no patience for people, you know what I mean? Just snapping at people and just generally making an ass of yourself. But it is because there's an emotional exhaustion factor. So try and give yourself a little grace and forgive yourself, and try to see the humor of it, especially if you're outside like some sort of lunatic like I was. So anyway, and then the next one just like kind of bleeds right into what I was just saying, like bouts of crying. I don't remember the last time I sat down and cried because of winter, but it happened this year because there's just so much going on energetically, right? So if you feel like you're going to cry, just cry. Try not to hold it back. It depends on where you are. Obviously, if you're at work, you probably don't want to break down into a sob fest. So maybe just excuse yourself. Try and get to the ladies or the gents or whatever. If you can wait till you get home, and you don't have to explain this to anybody else. If this is how you need to express that, then as long as you're not hurting anybody else. If you want to make a spectacle of yourself and give your neighbors something to gossip about, cool. Sometimes it's just going to happen, and you need to be able to vent these things that are going on. Just really just don't damage anything or hurt anybody else. And crying, sometimes you just need to let all this energy out of your body, okay? General feeling of emptiness, like maybe not finding any current meaning in your life. And it's like we're all trying so hard to get to where we want to go, and it seems like there's just multiple setbacks in our lives. And I'm seeing this with people too, like it's taking too long, or this is getting so hard, or I've been single for too long, or I've been married to this lump for too long. It seems like any situation that you're in, it was like, it just feels hollow. Okay, so the next one I have here is feeling really anxious. I know a lot of people suffer from anxiety, many different kinds of anxiety out there. Aren't we lucky? But just feeling extra like on edge about things, okay? And then being devoid of emotion. which is really treacherous. I find that one a really tough one because it gets to the point where we see so much stuff. Like for myself, I follow a lot of rescues, like animal rescues, because I used to participate in them quite a bit. And now you just see things that are tragic, and it's like, you just keep on scrolling. So, I mean, that's a sign of being like emotionally void, like just like having no connection to that. But again, that's another defense mechanism because it's just too much already. I mean, everywhere we turn around, there's people and animals that are suffering, and it's just, I mean, it has to affect you, even if you're thinking, oh, I'm detached and it's okay, I'm gonna make it through this. I mean, there's only so much we can take as humans, right? So those are 7 signs of being emotionally exhausted. So what can you do about it? Like maybe you just thought that, I don't know, maybe you just needed a vacation or something. But I mean, if you're not going to work on the things that are stressful for you, and you take time off and then you come back, it's all just going to come back to a sense of overwhelm again. Okay. So this is where we really need to start calling on our angels and guides to protect us, to keep our energy really high, to be doing these things that I talk about all the time, like Tai Chi, Qigong, yoga, breath work, meditation, calming, like magic baths. I did a whole video on that, like magical baths, and I just did a video on color energy. You can really work with your body just by the colors that you surround yourself with. What other things can you do for yourself? I really think it's important to stay hydrated as well, especially if you live in a region where you have to rely on like forced heat of any kind. If you're dehydrated, if you don't have a humidifier, that can really play into stuff like that. So it's all kinds of physical, visual, visceral experiences that can just suck the life right out of you guys. And because I'm seeing so much of this in the collective, it has me a little bit concerned that the keepers of the matrix are really starting to win. Okay, so this is like, it's kind of like the ultimate game of Survivor, and kind of like, I've been on a real Survivor kick lately. I've been finding it very exciting, but it's so relatable. It's like an episode or a series with the heroes versus the villains, okay? And us as the light workers, the star seeds, empaths, I listed them all before. I probably forgot a couple because I just talk. We're the heroes, okay? And it sometimes really feels like the villains are starting to win. And we definitely don't want that. We cannot allow the planet to regress any further, okay? We cannot allow it. We are sunk as low as we should ever go again. People starving, just so much abuse. War, what is going on with that? It's just sickening to see what's going on right now as, Russia and Ukraine rage on, so it is very, very difficult for individuals that are not ascended masters. Like there's very few people that have that ability to just emit love and, that frequency of love, and no matter what is going on, A couple of examples of ascended masters are Paramahansa Yogananda, you might have heard of him, and Jesus Christ. And I think the whole world has heard of Jesus Christ. I mean, who is just able to just say everything is okay, I still love you, I forgive you. So something else that just popped into my head, courtesy of one of my guides, thank you for being here, is the happonopono. I believe it goes, thank you, I love you, I'm sorry, please forgive me. It's something like that. It's all over the internet. There's people that do the happonopono. I know Jason Stevenson does it for sure, but you could just look it up. I know I probably butchered it because that's not part of my practice, but I do meditate. I do listen to HC frequencies. I do listen to binaural beats, and I listen to them all the time. Like when I wake up in the morning, I don't have cable TV, and I'm still suffering from an emotional exhaustion right now, you guys. And then I just see it being reflected all around me. So I definitely wanted to come here and just offer my support any way that I can, even if I'm having a hard day or like, you know, whatever experience that I'm going through. I'm still gonna be available for you guys because I know how important it is to be able to contact somebody and just say, hey, I'm going through this, and can I tell you my story? That makes us feel less alone. Okay, so I'm gonna start crying, partially because I am like just recovering from an emotional exhaustion, and because I'm Irish plus Aries, so I do have a lot of drama. But anyway, you guys, I just really, you know, if you guys need to get hold of me, I am on Twitter under Aries Fire Tarot. I have Instagram and Facebook under Aries Fire Tarot. I don't have social media pages for Oracle Rising because it would just be too much. But I do have an email address. It is down below in the description box. It's oraclerising2@gmail.com. You guys don't have to share your experiences in the comments because I know they can be very private and personal. But if you're living in this bubble, or you're alone, or there's just nobody in your life that you think that you could talk to about about anything that's going on and how you're feeling, go ahead and communicate with me. I'll get back to you as quickly as I can because I am here. It is my mission. It is my purpose to help us get out of the matrix. And that means existing with peace, love, and many blessings, which I send to you guys all from the bottom of my heart. Love you guys. Namaste. Okay, take care. Bye.